So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, guys, happy Wednesday. Good evening, December 20th. Checking my mic. Looks like we're good. I'm going to try and keep this relatively brief tonight because it's so late. I just got back from a double feature. Watched 2 movies today after the market closed. Silent Night, which is ending its run. We'll talk about that in a second. And the Ferrari Movie, which was an advanced screening tonight. One showing in our big Dolby theater, and it was packed. We'll talk about that in just a minute too. We'll talk about some market action that happened today, and then whatever questions you guys have. But I just poured myself a cold one because it's 10 o'clock, about to have a little nighty-night sippy sip and a smoke. And maybe y'all can catch me up on some political news because I was glued to the screen watching the markets today. I had a lot of trades going on today. And as we know, the market went down at the end of the day. I want you to notice on the screen here, these look like almost 4 of the exact same charts, right? But at the bottom right, we got the SPY. Top right, we got Tesla. Top left, we got AMC. Bottom left, we got GameStop. Now, I heard some crazy stuff today from these opium crack pipe smokers. Some crazy stuff. Guys, GME was getting too high, and they had to crash the market to keep things under control. GameStop was just running too much. They had to take the whole market down. Lord help us. Please, Lord help us. Recognize that the market does not move because of one stock. We got macroeconomics. We have all the indexes running to unconscionable highs for the reason why I've been telling you guys in the Discord and here on the live streams for the past week. I've been selling some of my blue chip stuff off. It's getting too toppy. I think I can bleed off some of these top end profits on my big blue chip plays, including Costco, which I sold at $6.75 just a couple days ago. What did Costco end up at today? Blue chips, Costco, $6.61. So, I mean, I think Costco sees a little pullback. So I just wanted to lock in some profits. I've done that with multiple other plays over the past week. Things are getting a little toppy. We were due for a pullback. That's why I also had puts in play this week. And I was closing those out on what I was expecting would be some rundown. I had puts on Tesla. I had puts on GameStop. And I was able to close those out with the rundown today. So let's just try to all be better and realize that there's thousands of stocks out there and the market is not moving because you're watching one stock. Things happen. And the other thing that I want to say, if you're in GameStop or if you're in AMC and you're feeling bad about the price rundown today, just look. I mean, this was a broad rundown. Everything followed the same pattern. This was algorithmic. Let's take some profits off everything. Run everything down. So don't feel bad. I was debating what to do with AMC, if I should add any at this price range. We were just talking about that last night. I have a little bit of a position that was close to the current price when we started the day, and then it ran down all day. So I did not add more today, but what I did instead was I sold cash secured puts for this Friday with a $6 strike. So if it ends Friday at $6 or below, I'll be buying it at $6. And if it doesn't, well, I still have my position, my shares, and I just captured some extra premium. It's not a ton, but I had to decide, do I buy at 6.25? Do I buy 6.17? No, I really don't want to buy unless it falls below 6. So that's what I did. I sold cash secured puts. And if it finishes at or below 6 on Friday, that I'll let those get exercised, and it'll automatically buy the shares for me. The other thing on my existing position today, I sold $7 covered calls for next Friday. And I think those, what did those net me? About $20 each contract. It's a little bit of extra money. I'm not for myself thinking that we're going to see over $7 this week. And with next week being a holiday week, I mean, it's anybody's guess, but I think I'm safe selling covered calls at $7. Other people I was talking to were looking at the 750s. That's a little safer, but the premium was a little light for me. Blue Sky says, but it would seem the stock for debt holders are not holding the stock they're being given. They're selling those shares. So you're talking about AMC and the unregistered shares that they were given in exchange for the debt. They could be selling them. I've been trying to talk to people. I talked to a well-known short last night, just DMing. Not somebody I've talked to before because he's kind of saucy. He likes to troll people, but I think he gave me an honest answer. And he said, he said a couple things regarding those unregistered shares. He said, number one, I'm not a securities attorney, so I don't know for sure if they are able to sell them right away. He said, but I expect that maybe they could. So we still don't have an answer on that. I'm trying to dig and get an answer on that. Can they sell them right away? So I don't know for sure. But he said also what we've postulated many times. I think this is just common sense, right? That debt holders are often people that are shorting the stock because they're trying to protect the falling value of their bonds. So they could be taking down these shares to close out some short positions. In fact, let's see what the Ortex looks like today. I've noticed that Ortex has been coming down. So the fact that he said that was not really surprising or upsetting to me. I mean, I already kind of know that your bondholders, often when things get bad, they're going to be shorting so that they can hedge their falling bond position. Shorts. 8.8%. 8.8%. So not super squeezy. Yeah, live short interest, a free float, 8.8%. In my mind, not super squeeze material here right now. So if you wonder why I'm talking about fundamentals, why we're looking at box office, why we're looking at balance sheet, income statement, I don't see this as a short squeeze play being under 20%. We're at 8.8. So buckle in for a long ride if you're planning on holding on. Gia fam, what's up? Was the movie worth the watch? MD says, I saw Lamborghini last year and a little disappointed in the production, hoping Ferrari is worth the watch. All right, let's talk about these two movies real quick, and then we'll jump back to the stock, because I'm sure what I just said, you guys probably have a lot of questions now. Silent Night. This is a John Woo production. It's a Christmas movie. As much as Die Hard is. It's set in the Christmas time, but there's not much Christmassy about it. It's a couple with the young son. And from the previews, you probably already know if you've seen them. If you haven't, I'm not ruining the movie for you. Their son gets shot in the front yard, like a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, in a drive-by shooting. And the dad goes on a mission to extract revenge against the gangs of thugs that are plaguing his city. And he's just a normal white bread dad, right? Suburban dad. So he had to go through his grieving period and then get, like, how do I fight gangs? He had to do the whole training up, get in shape, learn how to shoot, all that. The thing that made this movie really interesting to me, and people are either going to love it or hate it, is there is zero dialogue from any of our main characters in the entire movie. 1 hour and 45 minutes of no dialogue. Doesn't mean that the movie's silent, right? You got all your background noise. You got, if you're in an office, you hear the office noise and people murmuring and gunshots, you know, all the normal noises there, but nobody speaks. And that made it interesting. And it really made the visual of what you're watching. And man, when that dad got to the point where he was ready to take his revenge, that's a good scene. And it lasts a long time, the end of the movie. When he's ready, that, I think it makes it worth it to see Silent Night. Ferrari, like I said, it was packed. It was a one-show premiere tonight. I think the movie opens on Christmas. I like Ferrari cars, but I can't say that I'm the biggest history buff or knowledgeable on Enzo Ferrari's life. So here's what you need to know about the Ferrari movie. Much like Napoleon was a movie about Napoleon's life, including his relationships, how he came up, all of that, and less so about the battles, the Ferrari movie is a deep look into 1950s Italy, Enzo Ferrari's life. At the point where he was battling the Maserati family, they were both, barely getting by. They had well-renowned brands, but they were making like 100 cars a year, and they needed capital infusions. So the movie kind of follows the story of these two guys battling it out for the 1,000-mile race across Italy. And the theory was whoever won would get a capital infusion from a bigger automaker and survive and have the brand survive. And Enzo Ferrari, he was married. Just his brief facts about his life. He was married. His son died, I guess, because of some childhood illness. And he also had a chica on the side. What do you call that in Italian? I forget. Anyways, he had another woman and another son. So there was that whole family drama, right? His wife trying to find out about the other one, her trauma of having lost their kid and then finding out he's got another son. She owned half the company, and he's trying to expand the company or get an investor. And he's got to deal with a pissed off wife, not even ex-wife. He's got to deal with a pissed off wife that he lives with who owns half his company's stock. So I'd call it more of a drama movie than a racing movie. Was there racing in it? Yes. With the 1950s Ferraris, the long, skinny ones with absolutely no protection for the drivers whatsoever. There was some of that in there. But if you're going in expecting to see a 2.5-hour racing movie, you're not going to get that. And I heard one of the guys next to me as we were leaving saying, not really sure what I expected out of this movie. So I think there'll be some puzzled people. I don't know how well this movie will do. depending on what people's expectations are. But as a film taken, at face value for what they delivered, it was very well done. How people react to it is going to be, I think, dependent on what their expectations were going in. Blue Sky says Adam Aaron could be in panic to sell, knowing Q4 will be a loss and Q1 will be a massive loss. I don't think that they are panicking, Blue Sky, but I think that they are very well aware, right? Their job is to plan out 2 years at least. They probably have a 5-year plan, but it gets really gray when you're dependent. It's not like a widget company where they know they have new models that they're designing in their own design house and they're prototyping and they're going to launch them in 12 months or 18 months. The movie industry is dependent on Hollywood, and we got bogged down with the strike, and that's going to impact all of 2024. And so they know roughly what the 2024 and 2025 schedule look like, and they can make some rough predictions. I'm working on that too. And they know all their costs, and so they can model out, much like myself does or stock retail or any analyst. They can model out exactly what their losses or profits are going to be based on current information. And that's why I've been saying they even though we hate it, they needed to raise cash, and we're very, almost certainly going to lose money in Q4 and quite likely in Q1 also. And they're not going to let the company run out of cash. That's a fact. And that is their duty to all stakeholders, both bondholders and common, to not bankrupt the company by doing nothing. Even though the alternative, what they're doing, is not palatable to shareholders right now. I get it. I'm just not defending the company. I'm trying to explain to you, as we've been doing for the last year, the why, so that then you can make your own appropriate decisions. You can say, I don't believe you, Tony. The company's doing fine. They don't need to raise cash. Just going to buy and hold. Hey, it's not going to hurt my feelings. You do whatever you want. But if you want to know if they're likely to continue raising cash, then stay tuned. Stay tuned to this channel, because that's what we've been talking about for a year now, over a year. Any thoughts on Pfizer and Hershey? Cancel bubble. I need to do a deeper dive on Pfizer, but I did buy some in the past week. I posted that in the Discord a few days ago. I don't remember the exact date. Just a quick look at, that was just a very quick look at the chart. I've owned Pfizer before. And it's been run down, right? Look at this. Look at this sell-off after the COVID drugs. $57, $52. Now we're down to 27. So is it bottomed out right here? I don't know. I went in light with an initial purchase. Someday over the holidays here, when I have more time, I'll take an updated look at their financials. But the other thing that I looked at real quick is what analyst forecast was for Pfizer, because they've already done the work for us most times. Let's see what they say up here. Average analyst forecast 12 months out for Pfizer's $40. The low is 27, the high is 75. So, and these are including analyst updates, 4 of them in December. 27, 28, 36, 42. So, if the analysts are saying 27 to 36, I'm okay buying right around here. But that was just for an initial entry because it was looking cheap. I didn't load the boat with Pfizer. But if it keeps dipping, then the more it keeps dipping, the more I'll spend updating myself with the financials. And I think I'll have more time to do that over the weekend also, over the holiday week next week. But I'm starting to like it in this price range. I have not looked at Hershey. Carlos Guzman, is there any specific data of revenue yet regarding AMC popcorn? Not a peep, my friend. He said something in the last quarter or so of what their expectations were in a year or two, and it was nowhere near what we were thinking, right? I say we, not counting myself because I've never made any popcorn predictions. I say we, as collectively the entire social media community. I've seen some crazy numbers out there of what people were expecting on popcorn, and I've told you guys for the last couple quarters, I'm not counting it in any of my forecast models because they're not giving us any numbers. And without counting it, my forecasts have still come pretty damn close. So I think that the popcorn profits, if there are any, are relatively minimal. Give it time. Give it time to get in more stores. Give it time to take root on Amazon. You know, over time, it's incremental income. Whether it's $1 million a quarter or 10 million, whatever the number is. Some people would say it's $1 billion. It's going to be $1 billion, Tony. Whatever it is, guys, I'm going to be conservative. Whatever it is, it's better than doing nothing, right? It's incremental income. And my Texas AMC here still does not have the new AMC branded candy. But again, you're not going to hear any crazy predictions. I'm not going to pump you about candy and popcorn contributing fantastic numbers to our bottom line. They will be helpful. Keep it in perspective. They'll be helpful. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. They're doing the right things, but keep it in perspective. I'm hoping that in Q4, they reveal a little more data about exactly how popcorn's doing, but they've been very tight-lipped about it, which means it's probably not enough worth mentioning. Doesn't mean that there's not sales. I'm just saying the profit margins, the contribution is probably so low on the total income of the quarter that it's not really worth mentioning. MD says, check out the cars that made the world if you're into car history. I do find them fascinating, especially since we have a Formula One track here. If there was another new hobby that I wish that I had time just to sit back and study, would be to go back and become more knowledgeable on all of these guys, especially since many of them are from my home country. Gia says someone posted that Avatar 3 has been pushed to 2029. I haven't heard that yet. Anybody else second that yet? Anybody else seen that? Is that true? Blue Sky says the problem is similar to Ape. If the market cap shrinks to under $1, it will be much harder for Adam Aaron to dilute shareholders. If the market cap shrinks to, are you saying to under 1 billion? You might have to fill me in with some other details on your comment there. What is the AMC market cap at right now, by the way? 1.2 billion. Damn, that's getting low. I think when we were showing no movies whatsoever, we were hovering around in 2020. We were hovering around 500 million to 1 billion. It's amazing that it's getting that low. So like I was saying last night, even though I do expect more dilution, I'm feeling pretty comfortable buying in this range. I'm not ignorant of the risk. I'm not going to tell you guys that it can't go down. It certainly can if they keep on announcing dilution. But I think they're getting close to having what they need. I expect one more round or a little bit more dilution to top off the working capital deficit. So just take it easy. I would say if you're listening to anybody who's telling you the company's wildly profitable, going to be wildly profitable in Q4, go ask to borrow some of what they're smoking, because I'm not seeing that in the numbers. But that being said, I still like it around this price. I just got to go gingerly because there is some still potential downside risk. The other thing that we touched on last night is, and I'm going to keep on saying this for the next year, I expect the next 12 months to be relatively flat. We're going to be trading in this range because there'll be volatility, right? 6, 8, 10, 12, ding dong, ding dong. Because unless something else comes out that we don't know about, I expect 2024 to be much like 2023. And then really the hope of AMC hinges more on more movies in 2025. But we'll update that every quarter if we get better data. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing right now is for us to, I'm not going to be just sitting around on my thumbs for another year. I'm going to be volatility trading. If I'm holding AMC, I'm going to be trying to pick it up low, get out temporarily on a run up, wait for it to come back down, ding dong, rinse and repeat. And then hope that there's no bad news. It's company specific. The other thing I was going to say relative to these charts all going down today, these charts going down, all the same, notice when the index dropped here, everything dropped. So if all you were watching was AMC, and I know most of y'all know this already, but for those who think that everything went down because of your one stock, or you didn't know that everything crashed the same today, if you're holding one position, whether it's GameStop or AMC or Tesla, whatever, and you're feeling bad because your stock crashed, well, if the market has a correction, nobody is going to be immune to it. Nobody. So you got a little glimpse of that today. And I just want you to pay attention to the general economic news. There's bad news this week from FedEx. There was some other bad news today, I think, from General Mills. Kind of pulling their Q4 guidance, saying that it's not going to be as good of a quarter as they thought. And when big companies like that say stuff like that, then the market is like, oh, maybe we're getting a little too high here. Maybe we need to trim it up a little bit. And if it were to just cascade down for days and days and days, and you're just stuck in one play and you're wondering, do I panic sell here? Take a look around at the rest of the stock market. If everything's falling in tandem, then it's not something specific to your company. And then that'll help you make up your mind what to do. Zach, what's up, amigo? From Beeville, Texas. I know where Bee Caves is. Where is Beeville, Zach? Ernest says, I think Adam Aaron's going to dilute so he can do a reverse split. I'm not going to lie. If there's a second reverse split coming, I'd be pretty upset. Because we've already seen what happened with MCOM and Mullen when you do multiple reverse splits in a year. But what I've been saying to you guys on these lives and to the folks in the Discord for past several weeks, month or so, and I don't know that I'll be right, but I don't think that AMC is so desperate at this point, having done 2 cash raises now. I don't think that they're so desperate that they need to do another one and crash the price below $5. I mean, they raised what, $700 million since August. We had $1 billion cash deficit. They've fixed the vast majority of that. To the gentleman that said, are they panicking over Q4 and Q1? I guess that's really your answer, right? Is there going to be a third round soon? I don't know. If there is, maybe they're panicking, like you said. I'm hopeful that they don't do another large one quickly. And but I would not be surprised if it runs up again to 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. Because things kind of settle down, people feel better. We're safe, no more dilution. That talk gets going. They're done. That price starts getting bid up over a period of weeks or months. Just when you think we're about to have the run, he's going to do more dilution, not to stop the run, but because it's at a price where they're like, ding, ding, we can make a decent amount of money if we dilute right here, and we need to. I think they need to do one more round. So they'll be waiting for the moment to get the optimal cash raise. That's my hope anyways, that they wait. Blue Skies says, I would assume that they want $1 billion of on-hand cash. If they have $1 billion, that goes a very long way to almost zeroing out that working capital deficit on the balance sheet. And then you got to worry about the cash burn from Q4 and Q1, which there probably will be. Probably about, I'm saying at least $100 million cash burn in Q4. I haven't done any modeling on Q1 yet, but I'd expect about the same. Blue Sky says AMC will need to sell another substantial amount of shares in Q1 to keep enough on-hand cash. Very likely. I mean, let's see what the cash burn is in Q4. Let's see how our box office ends up. We got 10 more days, 11 more days of this year to see what how Q4 box office revenue for the industry finishes up. There's a lot of good movies coming out. That's why I went and saw 2 today. There's a bunch that I want to see before the end of the month. And hopefully other people are going to watch movies too in the general population. You know, you guys do what you want. But we can get people over the holidays watching movies and bump those numbers up a little bit for the industry. Then all of that helps minimize the cash burn. But it's inevitable there will be a loss in a cash burn in Q4 from what I'm seeing. Just a matter of trying to figure out how much now. Ron says, you're kissing Adam Aaron's ass. How am I doing that, Ron? I'm being as painfully blunt with you guys as I can. You're gonna have to spell it out. Wisconsin Hob Farm says I could see a third round before summer. That yeah, I agree with you. Sometime between January and summer. We debate about this offline all day, every day. People say I don't think they're going to raise any more. And I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure they're going to raise some more. Just knowing the when is the question. Yeah, Blue Sky, that Q4 287 million net loss for Q4. Keep in mind, some of that is amortization and depreciation, which is a loss on the income statement, but it's not an actual use of cash, right? So even if we have a $250 million loss on the income statement, which we could, the actual amount of cash burn would be significantly less than that. Say 150 million. But I still think it's important to point that out to you guys, because I still see people every day on social media and YouTube saying the company's profits are fantastic. I don't understand. Where's the money going? Why are they raising money? No, they're not actually fantastic right now. You can see the box office numbers as well as I can. 1.4 billion. It's not fantastic. They're going to lose money this quarter. That's why I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I'm trying to make sure that you guys are getting fair messaging about what to expect, because there's a lot of kooks out there giving you bad info. All right, any other questions? Don't forget, tomorrow, Mullen has their 1 for 100 split. That'll be something everybody's talking about. Hopefully none of y'all are in that play. And MCOM, formerly known as Hellbiz, Micro Mobility, having a 1 for 400 reverse split tomorrow. Ouch. No, wait, no, it's not MCOM. MCOM's getting delisted. There was another ticker that's having a 1 for 400 tomorrow. Who is it? Who is it? Gamble? GMBL? I'm going to go back to my memory banks from this morning when I posted it in Discord. I think it was GMBL. Yeah, they were down 41% today. Yep. 1 for 400 reverse split. Woo! Effective at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So we won't see that in the morning. We'll see it. We'll actually see that the morning of the 22nd, I guess. Tony, are you keeping up with tabs with Bitcoin and the ETF decision? I keep on trying to decide if I'm going to buy in at these levels or not. I got the devil in one ear and I got the angels in the other telling me what to do. And gosh, 43.6. I mean, I'd even be willing to trade it between 41 and 43, and it just keeps bouncing around. But there was some news headline this morning that gave me pause. Oops. Wow. I don't see the headline. Maybe we'll talk more about that tomorrow when I have time to catch up on Bitcoin news. But as I mentioned a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, all my Bitcoin and ETH is parked on my cold storage wallet, and I haven't even opened it up since all the crypto exchanges started crashing. So I haven't been trading. It's just sitting. So haven't sold anything into this run up of my crypto that I have, but I probably should check into that. Be prepared, Tony. Is there a date for Q4? So Q4 will be Q4 earnings. The quarter will end in for AMC end of December, and then we should get earnings first week of February, if I'm not mistaken. AMC. Let's see when we got them last year. No, last year was February 28th. Yeah, they have a little bit longer to file the 10K because it's an annual report. So might not be till the end of February. But we don't, there's no date announced yet. We'll have a long time to agonize over the numbers because there'll be those of us that do the modeling doing that for you at the end of the month, giving you our expectations, and then we'll have 2 months to be arguing about it, gnashing our teeth, and waiting and debating. Thank you, Hallie. End of Feb. Yeah, cancel bubble. We had net income of 12 million on 2.6 billion box office last quarter, and we're only at 1.4 right now. That's why I'm saying it's a 99.9% certainty in my mind that there's going to be a big loss this quarter. Not AMC's fault. I mean, it is what it is. Hollywood pushed Dune out. All the rest of the titles they gave us in Q4 have not really performed. AMC stepped up and brought in some other revenue streams, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, but that wasn't near enough to close the gap. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Just keep that in mind as you're making your trading decisions. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it, but Cinemark got a downgrade today. I've been telling you guys, both in Discord and on the occasional live streams, that one of my concerns, the thing that I'm bullish about is I'd like to see the dilution. Dilution's done. Keep your mouth zipped over there in Kansas. Don't say anything more about dilution. Just say it's done and shut the fuck up. Quit diluting more and let the price go up. That was my bullish hope. But my concern is that we were going to, and I've shared this with you guys, that we're going to start seeing these articles saying Q4 box office sucks. And they're not going to be wrong. They're not going to be wrong. And Cinemark got hit today with the downgrade based on expected weak Q4 box office. So it's just, you're going to see articles over the next 2 months coming out. Cinemark, AMC, downgrade. Expectations are poor. You're going to see all that stuff. And they're not going to be wrong that it's going to be bad. On the flip side, though, I know I'm going all over the map here. On the flip side, short interest is low, 8%. So that is telling me that shorts aren't really thinking they can beat it down a whole lot more. I mean, we're not at 20% short interest. So again, why am I feeling a little confident buying in this range right here? The short interest is low. They're not like saying we need to drive it down to $2. They're laying off. So A lot to think about every day as you're analyzing. If you're investing or trading in this play, there's a lot to think about on both sides of the teeter-totter. Gus, I have not sold any AMC this week. I talked about that at the beginning of this. So I was debating what to do if it broke under 650. I remember talking about that last night or this morning. And I convinced myself that unless the market crashes, I don't see AMC getting punished below like 550. My cost basis right now is around $6.60. So I'm only barely in the red. And things that I've been doing to keep that cost basis is selling covered calls on the shares that I have and selling cash secured puts under the price that I think that it's not going to go down to. So, for example, I sold cash secured puts for this Friday for $6 strike. If it goes below 6, I'll happily buy the shares. But if it doesn't, that's extra premium that I'm going to put in my little spreadsheet as reducing the basis on my current position. And the covered calls that I sold were $7 strikes for next Friday, because I don't think we'll go over 7 by next Friday. So that's just more money I get to keep. And I just log it in my AMC tracking spreadsheet so I know very precisely what my cost basis is. And my goal is not to sell it just because of a little market weakness like today, but to take steps to minimize my basis through smart trading. Zach says, not to be the bad guy here, but $6 puts to make some money. I mean, that could be a strategy that some people are employing, right? They could be buying puts, betting on it to go under 6. I personally am not doing that on AMC because I think it is close to the bottom range. I mean, if you buy a $6 put right now, yeah, granted, if you would have bought it at $10, you're doing good. But if you're trying to buy it right now, and it bottoms out at 550, I don't think that the risk to reward ratio is probably not there. I did buy puts on GameStop though, on that big run up to 18, and I sold those today on the run down. So I want to be buying puts when something is getting pushed way up really fast. Then you buy the puts. Give yourself enough time for it to come back down. Blue Sky says the strategy of buying back in after dilution is kind of not a guaranteed bounce as it once was. I would agree with you. This is a dangerous game trying to play volatility bounces on AMC. That's why I'm saying if you're doing that, size according to the risk. Nobody knows what's going to happen. There could be more dilution announcements. And as we've seen on the 15th and 19th, they're just trading debt for shares, not even having to file a prospectus and give us a heads up. And if they can just keep on doing that, how do I plan around that? I can't. So that's your risk. Nothing good comes without risk. It's our job to try and make sure we have eyeballs on all the risks so that you can size your play accordingly. High risk plays for me are not, honey, let's load the boat. Honey, let's mortgage the house. It's how do I get in this with as little exposure as possible if it really goes bad against me. And how do I manage my risk? Manage your risk by keeping a close eye on it, and have maybe some mental stop losses. But like today was not a stop loss day for me because AMC went down because the entire market went down. GameStop, Tesla. I was watching multiple tickers all doing the same thing. The indexes, that was not AMC specific today. Blue Sky says AMC investors are getting exhausted buying all these millions of shares flooding the market. I wouldn't disagree with you there either. I mean, you're bringing up a lot of salient points. Are you in our Discord? Are you? It sounds like the stuff we talk about every day, especially on the voice chats. People are running low on funds, and it's not just because of AMC. They're getting wiped out in every what they thought were short squeeze plays, right? Bed Bath & Beyond, Mullen, BBIG. You know, people are chasing these plays, Finger, GTII, chasing these bad fundamentals, thinking they're going to be a short squeeze, and it just ruins your morale and it ruins your portfolio if you ride them all to zero. I'm not a ride to zero guy. Like if it gets bad, at some point I'm going to preserve capital. Live to fight another day. Cheers, Zach. Did you tell me where is Beeville? You want to hear about my simultaneous best and worst trade of the day? when Tesla ran up, I bought puts on it. We may start talking about this more. I told you guys that some of the EV coverage that I've been doing for all of the EV companies is because ultimately I want to start providing more regular coverage for Tesla because it's such a tradable stock. When it ran up here, I bought puts. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the hourly. Because, I mean, there's these patterns with Tesla, right? Which if you spend some time, you see a little run up, buy puts, write it down for a few points, buy calls, write it back up, ding dong, just over and over. It's not easy money if you're wrong, but when the pattern works, boing, boing, boing. So I've been playing with Tesla calls and puts, and so far having a very good success rate. I'm not ready to say I have it all figured out just yet, but when I do, I'll make some videos about it, and we'll start talking about it a lot more in the Discord. But I had Tesla puts up here with a 257.50 strike, and it started tumbling today. And Tesla options are not cheap. Like you're looking at $400 to $800 per contract, depending on how far out you're buying them. But like the ones I was buying expire this week, and they were $300 to $400 per contract. So when it started tanking, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and lock in around a 40% gain. 40%. If you can make 40% in a day, that's not too bad, right? Not too shabby. And I didn't want to be greedy. I'm trying to be better on my options trading, about taking profits, because I get tired of, I'm up 40, 50%, and then not in Tesla, but and then on another ticker. And right when you're feeling real good, what's it do? It goes the other direction and never comes back down. So I took profits today. Again, if you guys can trade and make 40% every day, you're going to be very happy at the end of the year. But it kept going down, kept going down, kept going down. And so I left another, I think it essentially went up 100%, the put price. I could have had 100% gain on that trade in a day. But as one of my good friends says, Tony, never look back. You made money. You didn't lose capital. And I think that's a good, just a good general trading advice. Don't let the fact that you left a little bit on the table, if you locked in green, don't let that sucker you into making a bad trade on the next one. If you feel good about the money you made that day, take it and celebrate a little bit. Okay. San Antonio, Corpus, and Victoria. All right. I know that area fairly well. We go down to Corpus every now and then to the beach. In fact, I think it was my wife's birthday a year ago that we rented a beachfront cabin down there. In Texas, you know, our beaches aren't as pretty as over in Florida, but they're the only beach we got, damn it, and we love them. Yeah, so I'm sharing that with you. That was today both my best and worst trade. Best because, you know, I made 40% in a day. Worst because I left a lot on the table, but I'm not going to feel bad about it. And I would encourage you to never feel bad. As I get more comfortable trading Tesla options and sizing up the quantity that I buy, normally what I'll do is I'll buy 10 of something. And when it starts going the direction I want, I'll start selling them off 2 at a time. So that if it keeps going, then I keep capturing the gains as it keeps moving, but I didn't have enough to do that. So it is what it is. What do y'all think is going to happen tomorrow? That's really the key question. Do you think that tomorrow is going to be a green day? Or is everything going to bounce back? Or are we destined to get run down? I will tell you that I also bought calls for AMC expiring this Friday for $6.50. They were just so cheap. It's a little bit of throwaway money. If we get any run up tomorrow, I'll sell them. I bought those right at the end of the day today. We were when it was around $6.20. Right about here. And I bought calls on Tesla also. So I'm hoping for a green day tomorrow, but we'll see. Gregory says, I think we see AMC break below 6. It's possible. It's possible. If we stay below 6 on Friday, I'm going to be the proud owner of more shares. Blue Sky says it was a heavy sell-off, so I think a small bounce back and lower into Friday. I like that idea, Blue Sky. I'll take a small bounce back tomorrow. Oh. Hang on 1 second. All right, it is 11 o'clock here, so we're going to wrap it up for tonight. I'd like to get up early and watch how things are going in pre-market. So if you're on the Discord, check me out there. And let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. We could potentially do a live stream tomorrow evening if we got some exciting news to talk about. Mr. Stahl, good morning to you in Oslo. Anya says, could have been the December sell-off so people can take the write-offs for tax purposes. Could be, and we could see more of that, Anya. Don't forget, if you are tuning in from outside the U.S., next week is going to have some holidays. We'll talk about that as we wrap up the week with some reminders. It'll be a short week next week for trading in the U.S. And with that, I'm going to bid you adieu for tonight. Finish up your drinks, try and get some shut-eye, and let's make some money in the morning. Take care, guys.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability.